Make sure.
It is approximately 9 o'clock. This Tuesday, October the 11th, 2022. We call the Lakewood County Commissioners Court to order and ask Ms. Roll.
Judge Gray.
Here.
Commissioner Weir.
Here.
Commissioner Eaker.
Here.
Commissioner Eastman.
Here.
Commissioner Graham.
Here. Please join us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the invocation.
Let us pray. Father, we come to you this morning, thanking you for your grace, your mercy, and your love that you give us each and every single day. Father, we especially ask today for your wisdom, your guidance. We're in desperate need, God, of you. Our world and our country and our nation and our communities are facing shortages and problems never before seen in our history almost. But we know that we look to you, we believe in you, and we ask you that you will provide and meet the needs. I ask today for protection for all our families. I thank you all who are serving today, give them wisdom and guidance. And I pray your blessings upon each and all today in this courtroom, in this meeting. We give you the praise, we give you the glory. We ask these things for your glory, Jesus. In your name, amen. God bless you. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy.
All right. One on the agenda, consideration of the minutes from Friday.
I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes and accepting as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Payroll.
Make a motion to approve the estimated October 2022 payroll in the amount of $432,399.58. Did y'all hear me?
Speak closer to this, it's cutting out.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Gramberg, discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, official reports, and they are all in and available.
Make a motion to approve the official reports.
Is Is there a second?
And I'll second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. There are no line item transfers, so item 4 passed. Takes us to item 5, the outstanding bills.
Make a motion to approve the outstanding bills in the amount of $140,648.28.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Weir was first. Discussion. All in favor say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Commissioners, item 6 is the deed that Ms. Ashby and others have worked on. We are proposing to submit to the Muncie Services District 1 for them to approve at their, hopefully at their next meeting, and which will convey the property and the easements necessary for us to move further on construction on the Starflight Base West. And in conjunction with that, I put in the agenda the idea of discussing, we have money in the capital budget to pay for this item, and the sum of $30,000, which is what I propose we offer the ESD for this property. So, a couple of things. The first is your blessing and approval of this proposed general warranty deed and the deed conveying the easement. And then secondly, if you're of the mind, to offer to pay for the property. And if it'll speed things up any, I'll just point out that the things that are probably that are not unique, but of interest to you about this particular deed is it has a right of first refusal in the event that they ever want to sell the property for the ESD to get it back. And secondly, it restricts us to using the property for ourselves as a helicopter and or medical base for the next 20 years. And then the easement to the property is perpetual because obviously no matter who has the property, they'll get away into the property. So
Judge, the only question I have, I guess, is in reference to the payment. Is this the payment that they're requesting?
it is not. It is what I'm suggesting.
So since this hangar is going to be for an air ambulance and it's going to have a location for an ambulance, it seems to me that this is really benefiting the ESD. I mean, it's benefiting the entire community and the entire residents of Plain County as a whole. However, the ESD is gaining a facility. Well, they won't be owning it, but they will be gaining access to a facility for future EMS needs and things of that nature.
Alter. I don't know if this is just, if you want to discuss this, but I can tell you that my reasoning for suggesting that we pay them for the property is that it's budgeted and we don't know what in the future exactly how everything's going to work. There's a couple of things taken on faith. Yes, we'll be responsible for building the building. Yes, we'll be responsible for ensuring access to the building. But I think there was, during the negotiations, there was discussions about the ESD picking up the utilities charges for the building in the future. And what we don't know is what might, and I'm not talking about the construction of the service entrance, but what might there be in the future in terms of unexpected expenses on behalf of the ESD. And have paid them for this property, then, and since they have not asked for it, then it becomes revenue that's unrestricted for them to use during the year for any of these unexpected expenses. Whereas for us, it is budgeted, but it is line item restricted to the use that we made for it, which is purchase of property or right of way. That's why I was interested in offering them the $30,000 for the deed. But I do agree with you that it is going to be a facility that is for the benefit of all. I also want to point out that originally when we talked about it, we kind of guesstimated it would take 2 acres, and it's kept drifting with fences and FAA regulations and other reasons, and it's now up to 3-point-something acres. So we keep taking a little more than it kept creeping up, and the problem with that is it reduces their opportunities for what they can do with what's left of the property in terms of development. So for all those reasons, that's why I thought it was a good idea as a good little gesture to offer to pay for the property.
Also, you own the first right to purchase that.
Correct. Which, and I think the language says that market value or whatever value the commissioner's court approves, whichever is less. But if it's, maybe you should take it in 2 votes and see if you even approve of the deed, because the deed needs to happen by the way. And then you can talk about the money or not, however you want to do it. I'll make motions.
I'll make a motion to approve conveying the deed to the North Blanco County ESD number 1 in Blanco County for the location of the Starflight hangar project.
I got a little lost, let me just make sure, because this is not a deed from us, this is a deed to us. From ESD, and so it's up to them to approve and execute it whenever they need. But this is the version that we said.
Correct.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So then secondarily, anybody have any interest in offering an ESD compensation for the property?
I'd like to make a motion to offer the ESD one, $30,000 payment for the purchase of the property with them having first rights to buy that.
Is there a second? I guess since I put it on here, I will second it, but I think I see how this is gonna go. All right, discussion.
So the only discussion I have is just, I feel that in previous history, with the city of Blanco and the tower site that we have over there, we were able to acquire a little portion of their property, and I would hope the ESD would work in the same manner as the city of Blanco did at that time to promote the community as a whole. And since this piece of property is a large piece of property that they originally encumbered, hopefully they would be willing to give this to Blanco County or donate it to Blanco County.
Anything else?
Still think it's a measure of good faith between the county and the ESD. And so I believe we should do it.
All right. There's nothing further. All in favor, say aye. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
All right, motion fails. Moving to item 7, holiday schedule.
So on this holiday schedule, I seen or noticed that, we are reducing the amount of holidays by one. Reducing from 2 floating holidays to 1 floating holiday. And obviously that's because of the way the Christmas holidays fall. I would like to either, add one additional floating holiday or add December 26th as in replacement of Christmas Eve that we typically get.
Now, I'm all fine with that because, this is a time when we need to look to retain employees and find ways to do that. However, the reason we lost one floating holiday previously was because we added Good Friday. Before that, there were 2 floating holidays. And you were on the court when you all did that years ago. And then we have since turned back around based on, I guess, the sentiments expressed by the folks that work for the county. And we added back in Good Friday, so there was 1 floating holiday. I'm fine though, if the court wants to add yet another holiday for December 26th.
So in my recollection, from last year, we did not get, New Year's Day due to the calendar. So that's why we kept the 2 floating holidays. Or we went and had the 2 floating holidays.
Okay, so is that your motion?
So my motion would be to, accept the, proposed holiday schedule for 2023 and add, Tuesday, December 26th in replacement of the Christmas Eve,
I'm sorry, in replacement?
of the Christmas Eve holiday that we used to have. This is our previous one.
Yeah, well,
So it still gives us 2 holidays at Christmas. Right?
right, Monday and Tuesday.
Correct.
But not Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve is a Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8, needing a rental trailer for the elections department for this upcoming election period. Ms. Means, did you need to say anything?
I make a motion to approve the rental contract with the elections department to rent a U-Haul trailer to transport and deliver elections equipment to each polling location.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, Constable's Office would like authorization for a grant. And Constable Fisher is here really for this item and the next 2, if you have questions. Based on the silence, you got.
I make a motion to authorize precinct 1 constable office to apply for a grant with the United States Deputy Sheriff's Association cash grant for law enforcement equipment.
Is there a second? Second. Mr. Granberg, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 10, records management policy for the constable is submitted for your acknowledgement.
I move we adopt the record management policy declaration of compliance by precinct 1 constable.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Leisman, discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 11, authorizing the constable's office to enter into a contract with Axon for 5 years, and this is on the body cameras, et cetera.
So the only question I have, Mr. Fisher, on this one is is it more feasible to go out for your own contract as opposed to just adding additional cameras for the sheriff's office contract?
This is actually for fleet, so we could put an in-car in a new existing vehicle.
My mistake, has nothing to do with body cameras. And so this is different, the sheriff's office does not have a fleet Axon.
No, they do.
Okay, so the same
It's the
question
same contract.
is, well, then the same question.
So what was the question again? Sorry.
So would it be more feasible to add additional vehicles to the sheriff's office contract as opposed to creating a whole other contract?
It's all the same contracts. It's.
Same price, everything
Yeah,
else,
it's
doesn't
not
matter.
the same.
Okay.
Is this like an addendum?
It's basically just adding another fleet to the contract.
Okay.
We're separate entities, but the contract is still the county contract, so it's the same.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to authorize the precinct one constable's office to enter into a 5-year contract with Axon Enterprises for a fleet-free basic package.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Reed, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 12, surplus property. I believe this is Commissioner Reer's.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've got a 1988 Ford 1910 tractor with a 5-foot shredder and a 16-foot homemade trailer that I would like to have declared as surplus property so that we can put it on the updates.
Is that your motion?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Bramber, discussion. So rumor has it that one of you has the idea of taking surplus property and co-locating it in a single location so that people that want to look at what the county has on surplus for sale, they can go to one place and see them all.
Yes, sir.
Is that?
We could give the person the opportunity, for instance, if they looked at this tractor and saw a trailer next to it, or there was also a cattle guard they might be able to use. It gives them the opportunity to see what we have in our inventory and maybe bid on some other things.
So I guess we just want to be clear when we post it on Gov Deals where it is.
Yes, sir, that location. And I guess independently we could be available to if they have questions.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Item 13, replat. Commissioner Reed.
This is a fairly common replat. It's in Lake of the Hills, it's replat for lots 12 and 105. The new lot will be known as 12R. So I would like to make a motion to approve the replat 12 and 105, named 12.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Gramber, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 14, adopt a county road, Commissioners Weir and Eager. I'm guessing this is a road that goes into both of your. Yes.
It's
Two different.
roads, same program. And whatever, I guess all we can do is approve it and ratify the one that I have.
Yes. One you need to approve, the one that's literally an application, and the one that's already been ongoing needs to be ratified. Is that your motion?
Let me check. You okay with it?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, then I'd like to make a motion to approve the JG Milne Builders application and ratify the Courier Law Firm's application to adopt county road program.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 15, surplus property again.
So this here is, I have 2 pieces of equipment. One is a cattle guard, 6 foot by 20 foot cattle guard in pretty bad shape. However, it's our policy to list it for Gov Deals. And then I have our old chip spreader that I'd like to also list as surplus property.
And that's your motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eager, discussion. So do we, you said it's in pretty bad shape.
Cattle guard?
Yeah.
Yes, so this one here, whenever we shut down the road for low water crossing, it forced all recyclers mill, and this one category took quite a bit of beating, and a lot of pipes were popping up and breaking off.
So our policy is to go daily. Is there any thought when it's that, when it reaches a certain level of bad, that we might just metal recycle?
I'm assuming if we don't get any, bids on those deals, then we would stick it in the recycle center.
That's the next.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Item 16, shelter for the command vehicle, I believe, between Commissioner Weir and Commissioner Lacy, y'all have come up with a couple of alternatives.
So yes, sir, Commissioner Weir brought a proposal, for a shelter for the parking command vehicle. And this will be totally enclosed, it's gonna have a roll-up door, a walk door, and then 3 windows in it, I believe, right? 3 windows. So, and the total of that would be $28,242.46.
That's turnkey, so ready.
So additionally, I supplied a price for Mueller, for a well-lit building, same size. And you can see the price was, it was 20,000 something. I'm not seeing it.
20, is that it?
Yes, 21,860. So that is the price just of the material alone.
Say, just for the, like you did on the last one, took the tax off,
Right.
you were right, it's 20.
Yeah.
20,001.
Well, right. So that is the cost of just the material alone. I talked to a person that installs buildings of this nature, and they advised it would be an additional approximately 20,000 to install it. So you're looking at 40,000 to have it installed.
That's for the roll-up and windows also.
That's what the roll-up and the walk door, it did not have the windows in it, but it did have insulation.
So, this is not really completely apples to apples. This is just an observation, so you can dispute it if you like. Seems to me that the south and the north ends of the counties have a different preference sometimes for building. I know Commissioner Schultzmeyer, when the second project with the build-up structure, and down south, they've been using these structures out of Wolverine with success. And it's just, it seems to me it's just kind of a preference. And the money difference kind of depends on, I mean, again, it's not apples to apples because you've got insulation in one, I guess not in the other.
Correct.
And you've got it's affixed to the land, it's holed into the ground.
Both of them are going to be fixed to the line.
Well,
And the reason for that, Judge, is that when you get to a certain sidewall height, then they can no longer use the pin, they have to go to hidden ground.
okay,
It's part of the structure.
okay. Well, we have it listed as a discussion and to authorize the purchase, but we need to figure out how we're gonna pay for it. If in fact you want to go forward with either of these.
Right.
So can we maybe reach the first part or the last part first and figure out which one you want?
And honestly, I'll be fine with either one of these 2 units. I think both of them are going to be sufficient. I'll be fine going with that lower bid.
Appreciate that. We're talking about building this in precinct 3 yard and
Yes, sir.
And just from my own personal experiences in the past couple of years with winter weather, you can see, and maybe even the summer weather, can see appreciation for the installation. Especially for a vehicle like this with so many electronics.
On this, the building that I looked into, they would have to use, because it constructed first, this one here, they laid the insulation.
Oh, there is installation in.
No, sir, but if they do it, it will be a spray and flow type insulation.
Do you have any idea what that costs?
No, sir. Okay.
So, yeah, in fact, not quite apples to apples.
That's correct. I mean, there are some differences, so the red iron versus galvanized.
So, if, please tell me if I'm misstating this, if I'm misunderstanding it. It appears that the court wants to go forward and provide a shelter for the command vehicle. I feel like we need to maybe delve into a little bit more, maybe come back to you with some proposals on how to pay for it. And I think it would be good if we could get an installation cost to compare straight up.
Let me ask you, Mr. Lee.
So I'm just saying, maybe the next meeting we could talk about this again and finish it off.
Sure. May I ask you though, Brooks, so I know what to ask you. Will a spray in foam be good for you?
Oh, yeah. Spraying is actually going to be more insulation than standard roll that Mueller quoted.
Yes, sir. Okay, and it's probably quite expensive too, I guess, because we had that, on our regular construction, the difference between bad type insulation and low insulation, almost double the cost. But it's pretty good insulation.
Am I wrong? It's gonna be in your yard and your facility and under your care. Am I wrong about the installation?
No, absolutely. We'll winterize everything, like normal. However, I will say that in previous years where it was located in Williamson County, it did not have insulation. It sat underneath the shed, that was it. So, I can tell you that. We can, ideally, yes, insulation would be a benefit, would be a plus.
What about the concrete slab, electrical, won't you need some outlets to keep some batteries plugged in?
So yeah, the electrical, we can do that in-house, that's pretty simple. And, but either we do, another option would be looking at concrete slab, or we could also look at, just putting some, either hot mix or cola down and creating a pad out of that.
You can do that in-house.
We can do that in-house.
No concrete, wet.
Right. And so if it was an asphalt style flooring, then I would say that I would cover that out of my budget.
Okay. If you're wanting to try to move forward today, I'm open to that, but.
I'm fine coming back to it. The current status of the command vehicle is in the shop right now, getting some hydraulic leaks fixed. And then the AC dash that was not going, so it's getting repaired there. After that gets repaired, then the next step would be to get the decals put on it, so, it's not gonna be in Blanford County for a little while till I get everything done.
How long would your, forgive me for all yours, because it's not yours, but
This particular guy's 3 weeks out
3 weeks to what?
to show up.
Show up with their product. What do you got?
They have, sledgehammer.
It'd be a whole lot longer than that the delivery, I'd probably get the delivery, I can get the delivery within that 3-week time frame, but the actual installation will be a longer process. Trying to get somebody available to get there to,
You have clue like weeks or months or,
I would say months, I would say 3 to 4 months probably.
well, that may matter.
It does.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so, so the next time you'll know, you'll have something for us on
Yes, sir.
building and installation. And I will seek to get counsel from Ms. Windus and Ms. Swift on how to pay for it. Okay. So we'll pass on 16 for the time being, reset it for the next time, and move to 17, which is advertising for bids for Commissioner Beasley's project.
Yes, so this is the special projects in my current budget. I would like to authorize to advertise the bids for construction of low water crossings on Smith West Branch Road.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Reaper, discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Approval of specs for the purchase of the chip spreader.
So this is also in the capital outline, our capital equipment for the budget, and I would like to make a motion to approve the specs and the purchase of the 2022 Aetna chip spreader.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Reaper, discussion. Did I've gotten the impression, is it right or wrong, that you might possibly get it for a little less money than?
No, I did, not able to get it for anything less. However, whenever talking with the vendors last year, they went ahead and purchased a couple of them. So they have some in stock to keep it at this price.
I see. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 19, possible purchase of the burner.
So this is another capital outline, our capital equipment purchased in the 2023 budget. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the specs and the purchase of the 2022 roast brewing bridge.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 20, final plan, $1,000.
So this one is it's right on the county line between Blanco and Burnett County. It's in the city of Marble Falls. We have 1.2 acres, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Are you here to speak on this?
Yes, sir. It's, my name is Jason McMillan. I'm the surveyor working on the project with developers and engineers and the rest of the team. And
I think, I mean, what is it you were saying your last name?
Jason McMillan.
McMillan.
Yes, sir. And the entire project's around 580 acres, with the large majority of it being within the city limits of Marble Falls. So the entire project, from the engineering and water and drainage, is all being built to the city Marble Falls specs, which from everything we've seen is at or above the Blanco County specs or Burnett County specs. And so what they were hoping to request is, since it's less than an acre and a half within Blanco County, that y'all will be able to defer to the city of Marble Falls for final plating and approval. And that we would still record a copy of the plat in both counties and follow all those guidelines, but just for the purpose of the approval process to help things go a little smoother and fewer jurisdictions to deal with that work.
Right, and we talked about basically letting the city of Marble Falls follow their rules and regulations, considering that the majority of this plat is going to be the entrance to the subdivision, which takes up the TxDOT right away, and there are easements going into, there will be a little bit of maybe a commercial tract that might be in Blanco County that will have to abide by our rules and regulations as far as any construction on it in the future. But I would like to move forward and authorize the county judge to sign the final plat of the Thousand Oaks Ranch subdivision located in Blanco, Burnett County line, deferring the review and approval of the plat to the city of Marble Falls as only 1.9 acres lying in Blanco County.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. Hang on. Sorry, Jim. Okay, I want to make sure I'm clear. So we are, which makes total sense, I get it, with the vast majority of the property property in the Vernon County and in Marble Falls. ETJ or.
No, it's their city limits, right?
Yes, sir, it's in the city limits.
So I get it that it's, we should defer to them, but I thought I just heard you say, but if they develop on that 1.9.
If they develop within the Blackwood County, our fire code will be ill. Right.
There is the main entrance from TxDOT, there's a portion of what they're calling an open lot, and then there's a small portion that's, for the commercial lot that I think the, future development would possibly be a convenience store, gas station type building, but that is both partially Blanco County and Vernon County. With about less than half an acre, but yes, I do, I'm sure they would have to follow both sets of rules. This is just for the planning purpose that we're requesting approval.
And that main entrance, that is the main entrance, is in Blanco County.
Yes, sir.
With the big, you've already got a nice gate, or.
Yes, sir.
Entrance way,
Yes.
and you're not gonna lose that to the highway, are you?
No, that's their, I believe they're still working on that main entrance, but they're gonna have to, from what I have understood with TxDOT, they're gonna have to kind of increase the size of that entrance from what the original entrance to that ranch was. Just due to the amount of traffic, I believe, that
Increase the size, does that mean the stone's gonna be knocked down, put back up?
the stone, if they constructed that, and that should be to the,
Not TxDOT, I'm talking about I'm talking about your pretty entrance way.
oh, yes, that's, I haven't been out there in a while, and that part's kind of outside of what I'm doing, yes, sir, but, I do know that they have been in direct contact with TxDOT to make sure that their, entrance and everything's up to TxDOT standards.
Do you remember how many lots this is, all of you, not Blanco County?
There's gonna be 2 phases right now, we're just doing phase 1, and when the total project's done, it's gonna be about 240 residential lots.
So 500-600 people coming in and out in the Blanco County entrance.
Right. But TxDOT approved Blackwood County.
They do have one emergency entrance going out the back end that would be in Vernon County, but yes, the primary and main entrance would be Blanco County.
So this is I keep saying that the South is growing at a significantly higher rate, but this is the camel's nose of the start of your development. Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion carries. Item 21, are we currently under the to the end of the month?
Yes,
The next meeting that is, so.
this was 4 months less.
Or less, 21, 20. And interestingly, the maps coincide pretty closely. Our neighbors to the east are all under burn dams, and the Keach Byron index shows that our neighbors to the east and us in the most significant drought points. So, anybody want to act on the burn ban today? I did see a weather forecast about possible moisture at, next week, maybe?
It keeps going down every time.
Okay. Item 22, oh, sorry, no. We have an agenda. There is a lawsuit that we need to address and consider hiring counsel and counsel somebody. But I've asked that we go into executive session for her to review as attorney-client consultation. So, it is, I was just taking us into executive session.
Oh, Debbie's gonna
Okay.
go into executive session.
Do we not need to go into executive
You
session?
do need to go into
Is there
executive
anything we want to say in advance of going into executive session?
I'm sorry.
Is there anything you want to say in advance of going into executive session?
No, sir.
Okay. Then, the Commissioners Court will begin an executive session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act on this Tuesday, at approximately 9:44 a.m. And, we will resume open meeting once we have completed that session. We are going into executive session based upon the subsection of the act. With that, talks about consultation with our attorney regarding possible litigation.
Let me see.
Just next time.
All right. It is 9:59 and the Commissioners Court has returned to open meeting and concluded the executive session on this October the 11th, 2022. No action was taken on any item while in executive session. And returning to the open session, we can still address the addendum to the agenda, and specifically item 1, discussion possible action to engage outside counsel.
So I'll make a motion to allow the county attorney and the county judge to engage outside counsel for litigation, possible litigation, for Blanco County.
Is there a second? I'll second. Mr. Eager, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Returning to the main agenda, I think we are on item 22.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Member discussion, all in